What's up, everyone? It is me, back again, once again. Sorry that I've actually missed the podcast yesterday. If anyone who actually was sad by that, I apologize. I did not mean to offend you in such a terrible, terrible way. I, I feel like I've lost one of you in that, in the worst way. But today is actually before I get into the video, I want to say happy birthday to one of my best friends. Um and because of that, this video is officially sponsored by the letter N. Thank you everyone for letting this enormous situation arise. Anyway, into the video. So today is going to be kind of different. I wanted to do a little bit of a rant video. So just kind of like one topic, one general topic with a couple of subtopics. Today I'm going to be ranting about McDonald's, where I work, as many of you know. Um, I have recently run into a bit of a snafu there. They have been annoying me recently, but I do enjoy my job, so that's fine. It's whatever. I'm not sure. Today, we'll get into that actually. So, first I want to talk about a couple people. There are a couple of managers who are actually quitting, and it's quite sad because I just started working there, so I didn't really have a chance to ever get to know them. One of them actually became a good friend of mine. His name is Austin, and he's really cool. He's really fun, but like I believe he's quitting. I don't know. I'll have to check. He said he's gonna leave his keys in the safe, which means obviously you're leaving and you're not coming back. So I don't know. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen with him in the future, if he's actually leaving or if he's, you know, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But then there's another guy. His name is Andy, who quit before I even ever got to know him. He put in his 2 weeks notice before we could even become friends. I think we worked together like once before he actually put in his 2 weeks. There's actually this other guy who had like some issues with his spine or something, like his lower spine, and he's been in a lot of pain. He had to get surgery, but they were actually talking about firing him, like before he even, like he had called in and told them, I won't be able to come to work today. I don't know if he gave them any details, but apparently they were thinking about firing him, which was, I mean, that's kind of inconsiderate, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't hate my job. I have a couple issues with my boss though, which is actually the reason for most of these people. Austin quitting was mostly because of Kyle, which I don't even think Kyle will understand if I even told him. He's like, "What? But I'm the best guy in the world." Andy quitting, I'm not really sure. I would assume it'd be because of Kyle, but I don't know. I don't know for sure what his story is. Um, And Kyle isn't, he's my general manager at the McDonald's. How it works is we have crew members, crew trainers, managers, and there's like a couple positions in between manager and general manager. Then the general manager is like the manager of that store who runs everything that goes on in that store. So basically, like anything that happens, like everyone's under his jurisdiction. The managers are all my boss, but also Kyle is my boss. And then there's like 30 people above Kyle that are also my boss who can fire me if they want, basically. The issue with, apparently ever since Kyle took over, people haven't really enjoyed, I believe, anyway, don't quote me on this. If Kyle's watching, um, apparently people haven't been as happy as they were when the old general manager was working. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. This is not Starbucks coffee. This is actually Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Oh no! They call me the traitor because I switch brands. Jesus Christ, that left you guys like for 5 seconds. Anyway, so the issue, actually, let me tell you what I'm gonna do today. So today, I actually want to talk to Kyle and be like, listen, dude, you're the one who made Austin quit, right? And to a lesser extent, Andy, I believe. And I'm going to tell him that, like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, you're making people quit. There's become this lack of manager presence, which is obviously not great for when you're trying to have a workplace that, functions. And it's like, Kyle expects so much of us. He expects us to, like, be a well-oiled machine. But the issue is, like, and actually why Austin quit is because he didn't want to deal with Kyle, I believe. He was working with one guy who literally just started that day, and then me, who has been there for a couple of weeks. So it's not fair to assume that our times, how McDonald's works is, we have a bunch of the orders pop up, and then as soon as they all get served off, we have these little buttons. As soon as they all get served off, our times adjust to the average time of that hour or that, like, day. So it all changes. Or maybe whenever a manager takes over. I'm not really sure. But it's just like, he expects us, literally on the 4th of July, our busiest day of the year, he wanted us to keep our times under 150. Let me give you a couple more seconds to drink that all in. He wanted us to keep our times below, 2.5 minutes per customer. On a good day, our times are over 100. On a day where we aren't that busy. On a day where we aren't busy at all, our time is like a minute and a half or more. So it's like, there's no possible way for us to keep on one of our busiest days of the year, I dare say our busiest day of the year, the 4th of July, there's no way we can keep our times below 200. Like, below even 300. Maybe, I dare say, even 400 seconds. It's just impossible. It's an unrealistic expectation. And he keeps doing this. He keeps setting these unrealistic expectations for us. Like, it's just not fair. And then when we don't meet those unrealistic expectations, he punishes us. And he doesn't punish the crew members, who most likely it is their fault. Like, and I'm not even going to lie, it's my fault that Austin quit. Because I just wasn't at the level that most other people already are. So I'm sure I could be the cause of why his times were so ridiculous. Excuse me, I'm going to take another sip of coffee to try and calm myself down. But, like, Kyle put me in, and it's like immediately he wants me to be one of the best workers there. And I'm not bad. I'm not a terrible person there. I'd say I'm one of the best new people that he's hired. But you have to realize that there's a learning curve to this job. Sure, there's this training period, which I'm still in, where you get, like, your little time, and they're giving you this amount of time to, like, learn the ropes and everything. But he's already giving me these duties that are just unrealistic. Like, this is one of the things that actually makes me want to quit so bad, is we have this, like, hauler that we use to carry the trash to the dumpster. And, sometimes like, the bags will rip and stuff will just fall to the bottom. Okay, that sucks. But, like, what Kyle had me do, after this entire day, actually, we'll get to that. He had me put on gloves, not even give me, like, a face mask or anything, even if we had it. Like, if we had it, give it to me, But if we don't, alright, I understand. And then clean out, like, this garbage, which it's like rotten meat, curdled milk, like cheese that has gone bad, disgusting, like, raw meat. It's like some of the grossest stuff I've ever had to do in my life. Like, it's so ridiculous, and he just expects me to, like, do that. Literally, I almost barfed after that. I believe I barfed, like, 2-3 times when I got home? Something like that. And then when I'm done, and, like, he could see that I was, like, upset with having to do it, he literally came to me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I feel terrible." He's like, "Oh, are you gonna barf?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Well, is there any way you could not barf?" Like, how is that a way to handle this situation? An employee is giving you this look of, like, Jesus Christ, help me. I can't do this. Don't send him home early, even when we're overstaffed. Like, I'm not asking to be sent home early every single day he has me do something. But, like, I'm not asking for special treatment. But throw me a bone here. Don't, like, just say, could you not barf? Say, like, dude, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't know it'd be that gross. I didn't think it was, that terrible. I'm really sorry about that. Is there anything I could do? Like, here, have a free vanilla shake or something. Because we did that on the 4th of July. You guys can make yourself a McFlurry when you're done. But, like, don't treat me like he can be rude sometimes, and that's so annoying. And then another thing is, like, because of his, like, kind of rudeness, people have been like, we have this lack of manager presence right now. We have, like, as of right now, we have, like, 4 managers left after so many just quit or got fired. We have 1 got fired, 3 quit, I think. So, like, and Kyron might get fired. I don't know. It's just so ridiculous. Like, and he's only training, like, 2 people to be a manager. Like, that's just not fair. He doesn't understand what, like, a huge strain it's going to put on everyone. Like, put in people, like we have a lot of crew members, but, I mean, I'm working with almost the same people every day. Like, get some new managers, dude. Like, you need to train people for real. It's getting to the point where, like, we're running out of managers, so I'm working with the same managers every day. I'm not saying I don't like my managers, but, I need to work with, like, different people. I can't be working with... And, like, that's actually the one problem I had with Austin, even though I really liked him, was, like, we worked together all the time. And sometimes that got annoying. He's a great manager because he's, like, really down to earth and, like, he can be your friend. But at the same time, I want to have the manager who doesn't act like that, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I want to have a manager who is not always on my case, but, like, they can be bossy at times, but other times, we have a conversation during work. Like, that's what I want, is basically what it is. And Austin was, like, the talking part, which is why I liked him, but he wasn't really that hard part, which he needed to be. Anyway, let's get back to... Actually, let me take a sip of my cough. Oh, actually, before we get into any further anti-video, let me talk about... Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Here it is. I have this schedule, which is probably going to be on your screen right now. So there should be this little thing on your screen where it is the schedule of what I'm going to do for uploading. And my plan is, if you're not looking or if you're just listening, my plan is to do Monday, I'm going to do a 30 to 45 minute podcast. Tuesday, another 30 to 45 minute podcast. Wednesday is going to be my break day. Thursday will be another 30 to 45 minute podcast. Every Friday will be a rant. Saturday will be a 45 plus minute podcast, so like a really long one, every other week. So like it might be an hour long, it might be 45 minutes long. Not really sure. And then Sunday will be another break. So I have 2 break days in there just because, I'm a human and I need some breaks too. Sorry guys. But yeah, now back to the McDonald's rant still that I did. You see that? That's the magic of transition. Every time I do like a clap or a snap, it actually shows me this huge waveform on Audacity. So now when I go and I'm editing this in my video editor, I can actually just go to that point and be like, oh, well, this is where this happened. Da-da-da-da. That was me taking another sip of coffee. It's actually getting kind of lukewarm at this point, so that kind of sucks. Anyway, another thing so basically we had, Kyle had me wash this sink, which was terribly disgusting, which we used to wash our dishes and stuff, because we don't have a dishwasher for some god-awful reason. Like, we need it. I need it. Have like a huge walk-in one where everything goes into place. That would actually be like, it would be something that just works, Like, have this huge, like, we have these coolers and a freezer where we put all our meat. Like, have something either off of that or before that, or do something so, like, you have this huge dishwasher that you walk into and everything has a place for where it goes. Like, that makes sense to me, That makes less work for me to do. I'm just smacking my chest right now. Isn't that a little bit distracting? It kind of sounds like I'm going through a fan. Whoa. Anyway, sorry for that annoyance. Um, I don't know. I don't have a lot of problems with Kyle other than like those other annoyances that I stated at the beginning of this video. But basically, what I'm gonna do today is just go up to him and be like, "Dude, you made Austin quit." Like, and I'm gonna tell him like, "I'm not gonna. You're setting unrealistic standards for everyone." And I'm gonna ask him if I can talk to him in private. I don't want to like talk to him like this in front of everyone, because I'd rather just be like, "Listen, man to man right now, you aren't doing the best at managing your people. You could use a little bit of work. You're not terrible, but you need to kind of alter how it's going right now." Because I don't hate Kyle. I like him a little bit, but like he just needs to work on everything and understand like employees aren't machines. That's actually here what I wanted to say is I don't think he understands how the human factor works. The human factor is like this idea that humans are flawed creatures, which we are. We are not as good as machines, obviously. I am not as good as my job as a machine would be in my place, so don't expect me to have everything done in under 50 seconds, where, like, as a machine would be able to do. Like, that's just not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's just impossible for me to be able to take orders within 5 seconds. We actually had all these targets for like order taking time, but I can't meet those targets if the customers are taking a while to order. you know it's just unrealistic. I can't like sometimes it takes a while for like if a customer gives me a 20 for something, and I have to count out all the money. That's why doing credit cards is actually what I prefer, because I just hit a button and then you do all the rest. It's like, oh man, there's just these human factors to everything which he isn't calculating into everything. He isn't calculating the fact that, we aren't going to be as good as what a machine would be able to do in our place. If there was a machine back there, doing everything instead of us, it would obviously be way better than us. But you have these humans doing everything. We aren't going to be as good as you want us to be because we just don't have the ability to be amazing, which he needs to understand, and which I'm going to, honestly, I'm going to tell him. If he suspends me, if he fires me, then fine. Whatever. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I'll find another job if I have to. It's not the end of the world. But, I think, do I have anything else to talk about? No. I guess I'll actually do the birthday thing now. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. That was weird. I'm sorry about that. I have some Mozart playing in my headphones because I'm a loser. And, yeah, that's what I thought. Someone is singing instead of playing the piano. How very strange. I need some calming music to calm me down after this rant. And now I'm being screamed at in Hungarian. But happy birthday to one of my best friends. I believe I talked about him in an earlier video. I don't know if he wants me to use his name. 1 second, let me check if he actually said anything. Oh, this is awkward. Oh my god, not. Oh my god. Oh god, you guys are just like sitting there being awkward. Oh my god. Oh, this is so awkward. You guys are just sitting there waiting for me to deliver the punchline. Okay, anyway. He is a great guy. His name is Noah Jaber. He is awesome. He's really nice. We had chemistry together, and then we were friends, actually, at the high school I went to. So, yeah, happy birthday, buddy, which was yesterday. It's not today, because I didn't record a podcast yesterday, and I feel really bad that this isn't coming out on your birthday, and now this is really awkward. I guess next year you'll have to wait 365 days when I have 10 bajillion subscribers, so then everyone will know. Yay! Alright, I actually think I'm going to end it here. I know this is a short one, but the rants are going to be about 20 minutes long, maybe less from now on, just because this is Friday content, baby! I should actually probably produce more content on Fridays. Ooh, snap, you right. But we'll see what happens. Every Friday, rant video, 20 minutes long. Be there or be square. Bye.